parents Monoggle here today at Opequon Elementary. Join me today as we learn about some of the teachers here at the home of the Indians on this edition of Be the Difference, West Virginia. We're here today with Janelle Hess. She teaches kindergarten here at Opequon Elementary. Hello, Janelle. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. Tell me a little about yourself.
My name's Janelle Hess, and I am from Berkeley County. I've lived here all my life, and my family's all in this area too, which I love. Everybody's within 30 minutes from each other. I went to Shepherd University, and I've been teaching kindergarten for 2 years here at Opequon, and before that I did some substitute teaching.
Why did you decide to become a teacher?
I decided to become a teacher in 4th grade because I really looked up to my own teachers, and I just thought it would be so neat to have my own bulletin boards to do, my own classroom, to do my own lesson plans. I just thought it was the neatest job. And then as I got older and learned more about, what teaching entails, I realized more and more that it definitely was a good fit for me. And I just, I knew for sure that that was the path I wanted to take, and I'm very glad I did.
Tell me about some of the things that you do with your students to get them excited about learning.
Well, it's exciting in kindergarten because they already are enthusiastic, so that's one thing I really appreciate about this age group. But each week we have a different letter that we focus on, and it doesn't go in alphabetical order, so it's always a big deal on Monday what the new letter of the week is going to be. So I get excited. I think Mondays are my favorite days just because seeing their reaction when they come in, and we try to have everything we do centered around that letter, and we do different learning centers for that, different arts and crafts for that. And I think that, just seeing their enthusiasm on the letter, it's exciting for me to see as well.
So what is your favorite thing about teaching kindergarten?
My favorite thing about kindergarten is definitely their energy level. I love how they are excited about everything you do. I love just hearing the way that they view things and their perspective. And it's, they'll say things that just blow me away sometimes, and it'll be something I totally missed, or just their view on it, and I think they have a lot of good insight on things.
So what things from your own experience as a student or as a child have influenced the type of teacher that you've become?
Well, I think as a child, I had a hard time sitting still, so that definitely has influenced me as a teacher, and I really feel for those students who are active and have a hard time sitting in desks. So I try to incorporate as much activity as I can and make it as engaging as possible. And, I really admire certain teachers that I had that did that and, use innovative ways to get whatever the lesson was across to me to fit my learning style. So that's my goal too, now that, I'm on the other side of things and I'm the educator, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to do the same thing for my students.
So what's one misconception that you wish you could clear up for the public about what it means to be a teacher or the education profession?
Well, I think that our community is very supportive, and I'm very thankful for that. I know a lot of local businesses have donated things to my class, and different people have come in and volunteered to speak or to read to us. But I do hope that everybody knows how much we as teachers value, our profession, and we're thankful that they entrust us with their students, and that, we don't really consider it a job. We consider it more of, a way of life. And I hope they realize how grateful we are for that, and how, it's definitely our whole world, and everything, everything we do kind of revolves around that. We're constantly looking for things for our classroom, and we're constantly focused on our class.
We're here with Criswell. She teaches 2nd grade here at Opequon Elementary. Hello, Ella. How are you?
Good. How are you today?
Good. Tell me about yourself.
Well, like she said, I am Ella Criswell. I have been a teacher this is my 8th year in the county, in Berkeley County. I actually started out my career as a long-term substitute, and from there, I actually was at Berkeley Heights, and then I moved to Morrillo, and then eventually I went day-to-day subbing, and then I became permanent here at Opequon. So it was a long, rough start, but finally got to where I wanted to be, and so now I'm in 2nd grade over here at Opequon.
So what made you decide to become a teacher?
Well, actually, the reason I decided to become a teacher was when I was growing up, my stepdad was a teacher, and he had been a teacher for about, I think, 35 years. and in the county over at James Ramsey, and he would come home and try to tell me these funny stories about kids that they were doing this and that, and I just thought, well, that's funny, I like that, you know, that sounds interesting, and so that's really how I got interested in it. But also a lot of my family has been in the teaching career too. My grandmother, my aunt, and even my sister, she teaches college level, and so kind of just everybody in the family. It's kind of a family thing.
What's your favorite thing about being a teacher?
My favorite thing about being a teacher is that I can influence the minds of these children, but yet I can send them home to their parents at the end of the day. It's great that, you know, that I have some influence on them, and that I hope that I can lead them to, you know, be successful in life, and not only at this age, but later in life.
Tell me about something that you do in your classroom, or that an activity that you do that really gets your students excited about learning.
Well, when talking to the students about things that they like to do, and even from seeing the things that they like to do, I would say they like to do a lot of artsy activities, where, like paper mache, like for Earth Day we make paper mache earths, and I kind of introduce the lesson by making the earths, and just different arts activities. They like to do like making snowmen and things like that.
So what are some of the challenges and the positives about being a teacher and also being a parent yourself?
Well, the challenges, I would have to say, that is when you have almost a 2-year running around the house, it's kind of hard in the evenings to grade papers, or you might have to come in the next day and, like last week, I apologized to one of my students. I had yellow marker all over her paper. My daughter got a hold of it and was running around the house with it, and you know, I had to say, oh, I'm sorry, you know, your paper has a few extra marks on it. So that's kind of hard, you know, having a 2-year-old running around trying to grade papers, and finding the time to actually do the grading when she's, you know, when she's awake. And so most of the time I try to do it after she's gone to bed. She's only 2, and I think, well, by the time she gets to kindergarten, that I've got to do this, I'm going to have to do this, and I can already see, you know, the work that it is as a parent, and what parents have to put forth with their student or with their child.
Your own experiences as a student influence the type of teacher that you've become for your own students today?
Well, I would say that my 2nd grade teacher was probably a big influence. I not only had her for 2nd grade, but I also had her for 5th grade. And I can remember a lot of activities that we used to do there. And it was a fun time, and I enjoyed having her as my teacher. And I just thought, well, this is, you know, I like this. And I do some of the things that she did with like prizes and things like that, rewards, that I can remember from her class. And she even used to send postcards to all of the students every time she went away for the weekend, and so I have a whole big stack of these postcards in different places. And so, like on my wall in my room, I have maps, and usually by the end of the year, I have it filled up with postcards all the way around it. And we talk about some of the different places, and I tell them, you know, this is what my 2nd grade teacher did with me as a student.
What's one thing that you wish other people or the public understood about being a teacher, or just about being involved in the education profession?
Well, I think the community is supportive, but then there is that most people think that, you know, teaching is just a 8 to 4 job, and it's really not. It's much more than that. You have to go home, and, you know, there's some students that you have to worry about, you know, that don't have everything that they need, and you know, you have to do your grading, and you have a lot more responsibilities once you get home. It's just not 8 to 4. You know, you can't just say, oh, I'm done at 4 o'clock and come in the next day. It just doesn't work that way.
That's all for this edition of Be the Difference West Virginia. Join me next time as we learn more about the teachers here in beautiful Berkeley County. Until then, I'm Erin Spinagle, reminding you to be different, but more importantly, be the difference. I'll see you soon.